Holidays, and welcome to the December 14th, 2021 regular school board meeting, our last meeting of the 2021 year, which I now call to order. My name is Lisa Kane. I am the vice chairwoman filling in for our board chair, Miss Eileen Long, who could not be with us today. So we are going to let all votes reflect a 6-person vote this morning. Our invocation will be given by Reverend Bob Scott from the Peace Memorial Presbyterian Church of Clearwater, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem. May we all rise?
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you. My daughter was a student at Oak Grove Middle School and Clearwater High, so it's always a pleasure to be with you. Let's begin with the word of prayer. In this season of gift giving, O God, we pause to give you thanks for the gifts that we have been given but far too often take for granted, like the blessing of living in this corner of your beautiful creation, for the privilege of being citizens of this great country, state, and the communities we call home, for the work we have been given to do and for times of leisure. We thank you for the people we share our lives with, neighbors, co-workers, friends, and family, and above all, our children. Each of these gifts is both a blessing and a responsibility. May we be wise stewards of all the good gifts you've placed in our hands. And so to that end, this morning we pray for this body. We thank you for all of our schools, for all who work sometimes unseen and behind the scenes and unsung, those who keep our schools running. We pray for our teachers and their important ministry that they have. And I pray for the women and men of this school board who wanted to make a difference in the communities they call home, want to make a difference in the lives of the children in our charge who have been elected to serve. And so I pray that you will give them every gift they need today. Give them wisdom, give them insight, give them creativity in their deliberations and decision-making. And I pray for all present today that if we don't always have consensus, we might at least find civility and support for the common good. And above all, oh God, above all, we pray for the children in our care. We pray for their education, for their safety, and for a bright future. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All be seated. Thank you. Each year, each school selects a teacher of the year, and from those teachers, we select a district teacher of the year. But before we announce our district winner, we narrow our list down to our top 10 finalists and surprise them at their schools with flowers, balloons, and fanfare. Families are invited to attend to share in the surprise, both in person and via Zoom. So let's watch as these outstanding educators learn that they are the top 10 finalists.
Hi. Congratulations, Ms. Ayanna Grant, for being named a top 10 finalist for Pinellas County Schools Teacher of the Year 2021-2022. Congratulations!
There are so many great teachers in this district that what am I doing that's so much special than any other teachers in the district, because we have some of the best teachers in Florida. But I feel like I'm really happy that my principal is really recognizing the hard work that I'm putting into my kids.
I have some very exciting news today, boys and girls. Mr. Howard is a top 10 finalist for Teacher of the Year.
Just overwhelmed. I'm just humbled, honored. These kids, that's what I do it for, honestly. And honestly, as a teacher, I don't do it for the accolades. And it's good to feel recognized, but I do it for each and every one of them.
Pardon the interruption, everybody. Come on up, Ms. Yakabuchi. Ms. Yakabuchi, congratulations. I'm proud to announce Ms. Yakabuchi is a top 10 finalist for Pinellas County Schools Outstanding Educator of the Year. Woo!
You know, I've been a teacher for I think it's 36 years right now. It's what I've dedicated my life to because I love my job. I'm really speechless because of this. I was shocked when I was nominated for this, but to be in the top 10 is just, it's amazing. It really is amazing.
Congratulations, Lorna. You're one of the top 10 finalists for Pinellas County School District.
This is kind of a shock to me. I didn't expect this. I love the kids, so it means everything. So this is like my entire life. I'm here till 6 o'clock every night, and I get here at 7 a.m. just to get everything ready.
Mrs. Swap, you are one of the top 10 finalists for Teacher of the Year!
Wow. Oh, I'm overwhelmed. I love science, so I love coming here and sharing that with my students and having them learn how science works and getting to experience it and then seeing them get to ask their own questions and figure out how to answer them. So that just is what brings me back every day.
We are here for a very special reason. Did you know that your teacher, Mrs. Walls, is a top 10 finalist for Pinellas County Schools Teacher of the Year? Let's give her a big round of applause. Woo!
Thank you. I'm totally shocked. I love what I do and I love these kids, and thank you so much for this honor.
I really enjoy being a teacher. This is something I've always wanted to do all my life, and being with kids and helping kids is where my heart is at.
Woo! Woo! Are you ready for this? No. Mrs. Deanna Russo, congratulations. You are a top 10 finalist for Teacher of the Year for Pinellas County Schools. Congratulations!
The moment when I say, oh wait, I'm going to Disney. No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, completely overwhelmed, and I'm wondering where my class has been, and my family's here, and I'm just so thankful, and I don't know what to say. I don't have anything prepared. Congratulations. Thank you so much. It's an honor. It's truly an honor. I love my job. I love teaching these kids, and it's my dream job, and I love it, and I love Pinellas County Schools, and thank you.
Congratulations. Doesn't she deserve it? Let's give Bonnie and her family a standing ovation.
I'm just in shock. And I just can't thank everyone enough. The support of my family, I wouldn't be here, and my PTC family as well. It means the world to me to be able to make a difference and just touch other people. try to pay it forward and do what others have done for me.
We are pleased to announce that you're one of the top 10 finalists for Pinellas County School Teacher of the Year.
Teaching means a lot to me. This is my 31st year. Of course, it means quite a bit to me. They need someone who cares for them and also wants to teach them, whether it be manners or whether it's geometry or math. But I love what I teach. This is awesome. So now what do I do next? I just keep on teaching.
Congratulations, you are one of Pinellas County's top 10 Teacher of the Year.
I'm just very honored. I feel that it's very difficult to make a decision for Teachers of the Year because there are so many teachers working so hard, especially with the times that we're currently in. And I just want to express to my kids every day that I love what I do and I care so much about their success. And I hope that they can see that when they come in this room.
Wow. What an incredible group of people. I don't know how we're going to pick a Teacher of the Year this year, but we will be doing that. We invite our community to celebrate them with us for all of their many years of dedicated service to students, to community, to all involved. We will be holding our annual Evening of Excellence on Wednesday, January 26th at the Mahaffey Theater to celebrate these phenomenal teachers. So please be there to help support them in this. We are going to move on to our introduction of professional and community organizations. Ms. Isabel Mascaridis, do we have anyone with us today?
Good morning. Good morning, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board, Dr. Grego, and staff. It is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of community and professional organizations. From the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association, we have Nancy Velarde, President. And today we have a presentation from the Student Rights and Responsibility Committee. Please welcome Sarah Jenkins, Ayanna George, Jet Beauge, and Oswaldo Cruz from Clearwater High School and their principal, Eric Krause.
Good morning. My name is Ayanna George. I'm a senior at Clearwater High School, and I've attended Clearwater all 4 years. And this is my second year as a Student Rights and Responsibilities representative. So today, well, I'm going to introduce a little bit about myself. I'm the co-president of the National Honor Society program at my school. I'm the student class treasurer. I'm in leadership position in the Civil Rights Student Ambassadors Program, where we talk about civil and human rights and how to become leaders throughout our community. I participate in the basketball, flag football, soccer, and volleyball programs. And I'm going to talk to you about our curriculum and our academics and how we've progressed over the years. So we have received the B designations from the state of Florida, 96% graduation rate, a 93% acceleration rate with 98% of the senior class accessing at least one college credit. The opening of the school year has been outstanding as students and staff have helped to move along and get past through these difficult years of COVID. Our schools embrace the concept of open access for all students to all rigorous courses, and as a result, not only can all of our students take AP and dual enrollment classes, but they also have the opportunity to take advantage of our Cambridge ACE courses. If a student receives their ACE diploma, they have volunteer hours required. They automatically qualify for the Bright Future Scholarship, regardless of their SAT or ACT scores, and that helps them give a really good opportunity to get into colleges. Of our students who participated in the ACE curriculum last year, 41 earned the complete prestigious ACE diploma, taking and passing 7 classes in the 3 required subject areas. Of these 20 earned the ACE diploma with merit, and 1 earned the ACE diploma with distinction, indicating superlative performance on the ACE test. In the past 3 years, 44 of our students have earned the coveted Outstanding Cambridge Learning Scholar Award, Of these, 15 earned the Merit Award, and 14 earned this award with distinction. This award signifies outstanding results on 3 or more ACE tests. Clearwater High's ACE program continues to lead our district in all these categories. Most students enrolled in ACE curriculum, most students testing in ACE curriculum, most students passing 1 or more ACE tests, most students earning the ACE diploma, most students earning the ACE diploma with merit or distinction, most students earning the Outstanding Cambridge Learning Award, and most students earning the Outstanding Cambridge Learner Award with merit or distinction. In addition to this, our ACE program surpassed even national pass rates in the following subjects: biology, chemistry, literature and English, and marine science. Even more impressively, our following subject scores exceeded even global averages in biology, English general paper, and travel and tourism. Again, all students at Clearwater High School have the opportunity to take ACE, AP, dual enrollment courses on our campus and are extremely proud of our academic accomplishments, which helps them advance onto college. This year, our Civil Rights Ambassadors program, which I'm currently in, are working collaboratively with Pinellas County High Schools, the NAACP, and the City of Clearwater to memorialize the recently found African American cemetery located on school board property. Our Clearwater High School ambassadors coordinated a school-wide expectations day with students rotating between their classes and other spaces on campus. The entire project took 2 weeks to put together and was a huge success as we all helped further unlock that CT pride. Finally, our Civil Rights Ambassadors are excited about our upcoming Civil Rights Tour, which is student-led, project-based learning opportunity. We are going to visit Atlanta, Birmingham, we are still figuring out where to visit, but as of now, we know that we're going to be visiting Atlanta and St. Augustine. We will also work with Linda Blackman Lowry to help further enhance our education purposes. And our National Honor Society program has worked with student peer-to-peer locations on campus to help the students with their school, like their ACE programs and different stuff that they're involved in. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Jenkins. I am also a senior at Clearwater High. I'm enrolled in the CAKE program at Clearwater High School, and I've also earned my ACE diploma as of last year. I am a board member of the National Honor Society. I'm also taking part in the Mu Alpha Theta Club and also Science National Honor Society, English National Honor Society, and I am also the student government president at Clearwater High School, representing my school and my community and also here. So I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the accolades for Clearwater. Over 20 times, Clearwater has received the 5-Star School Award for parent and community involvement, showing that our community is truly invested in our school. We have been named a National Career Academy Coalition Model School 10 times, and last fall we presented our school in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the national conference. Our school has earned the International Center for Leadership and Education Model School designation 5 times in the last 8 years. There have been only 2 schools in Pinellas to receive this distinction, and we are actually the only school to receive it more than once. Last summer, we had the opportunity to present at the Model Schools Conference in Nashville, Tennessee, and all academies are designated Academies of Distinction by the Career Education Board through the Pinellas Education Foundation. 3 times, the Washington Post has rated Clearwater High School the most challenging or rigorous high school in Pinellas County. This is based upon the number of students taking accelerated courses and the number of accelerated courses being offered at Clearwater High School. Clearwater High School was actually ranked 13th in the state and has been first in Pinellas County once before. Last year, 7 of our students received Clearwater for Youth Scholarship Awards worth over $50,000. Our CAKE program has also been engaged in a virtual enterprise capstone project, which I'm actually the manager of human resources and the CEO at our firm, and have previously won 2nd place in the nation, competing against other schools now and their online virtual foe businesses. We are getting ready to submit our projects now, and we anticipate great results. Our CAKE program was unable to take the seniors on their annual New York City trip last year, but we are excited to travel by train to Savannah this year, sometime in February, to visit the financial district ports, as well as the maritime and railroad museums. The other students in the program were also able to attend field trips to the Port of Tampa, Ybor City, and the Universal Orlando already this year. Last year, we had over 1,000 industry certifications awarded in over 30 areas that would include the Microsoft Bundle, lifeguarding, Adobe, Apple, Safe Staff, electronic systems, and unmanned aircraft, just to name a few. I'm also Microsoft Bundled, which is an amazing program at Clearwater because it also gives students an option to pass that online requirement for graduation. Our ELP has begun in all subject areas, and students and teachers are meeting during the day, at the end of the day, and after school. Clubs like the Live Free Club, GSA, and Save Club are other clubs already up and running, and meetings are regular. It is obvious that our programs continue to excel, and thank you for your continued support. We are extremely proud of our amazing extracurricular opportunities, and thank you again for giving us the opportunity to share. Thank you, guys.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jet Beauge, and I'm a senior at Clearwater High School, of course. I plan on commissioning into the Air Force after graduation, and today I want to talk to you about our sports at Clearwater High School. We have a long history of tradition and sports here. This year, we named our new football field after our sports director, Miss Biddle. She has been serving at Clearwater High School for over 44 years, and we did this to dedicate her years of service and her years to come. Although we are very involved in sports, our sports are also very academically excellent. The average GPA of our sports teams is 3.0, and over the last 4 years, CHS has obtained 8 district championships and 5 regional quarterfinal appearances. Our varsity boys football team has done very well this year, making it 1 game away from the state Final Four in all of Florida. Our volleyball team has also competed up until the last round of the district, making them district runner-ups. Another one of our sports teams that has done very well this year is the swim team. We had 24 regional qualifiers and 12 state qualifiers. That's the most athletes Clearwater High has seen in 25 years. We also had 4 PCAC champions, and they earned 21 medals. Both the boys and the girls swims team were both district and regional champions. One of our swimmers, Drew Johnson, had a very excellent year. He is a senior, and he won the 50 and 100-yard freestyle events at the state level, making him a dual state champion. He was also voted the PCAC champion of the year. In addition to our swimmers, our coach, Coach Kyle, was also voted the PCAC Swim Coach of the Year for boys. Our students truly have a passion for our sports programs, and we appreciate your continued support and willingness to provide our schools with these incredible opportunities. In addition to our sports, we also have an excellent Marine Corps JRTC program, which I am a part of. I have had the opportunity as a member of the Color Guard to present our national colors at both Prisoner of War and Pearl Harbor Memorial Services this year, as long as at all of our football games. Our academic team advanced to the 2nd division on a national level, and we hope to compete for a spot for the actual nationals in DC in June. And finally, our Marine Corps JRTC program competed in a physical achievement contest, as I was, sending 33 of our cadets to Belleville, as I was, Brooksville, to compete in the Iron Bear Challenge. 18 other schools came, and we came out first overall. This is the first time a Marine Corps school has won, and the first time our school has won. Thank you for all your support.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Oswaldo Cruz. I am a senior at Clearwater High School. I also plan to earn a commission at the Marine Corps once I graduate. So today I'll be talking about the arts program we have at our high school. Our performing arts programs, such as band, chorus, theater, continue to excel. Our thespian society did extremely well at districts, and we're really excited about them performing at state. Also, all 3 programs look forward to presenting in the musical play Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief, for the next semester. Both our band and chorus programs We'll have students participating in the Pinellas All-County performances in the spring. Our Tornado Marching Band, as it was, performed at several competitions and received an overall excellent rating at this year's Marching Band MPA assessment. This year, we started a program called the CHS EL Elevation. We have 4 bilingual students that are tutoring and assisting other CHS students with language barriers. This new program has recently been featured on ABC Action News, Telemundo Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay. I am one of the tutors in the program, and it is not only positively impacting our students, but also as us tutors and mentors. Thank you for opening the College and Career Center at our school. It is a great resource for our students to learn more about post-high school opportunities, entrance criteria, and scholarships. Due to construction, we have moved the center to the cafeteria area, and many students are assisting it throughout the day. This year, during college application weeks, our school counselors helped over 250 students with their college application and scholarships. We are really excited about our school's renovation and rebuild. Watching the different buildings being constructed has been amazing. Clearwater High School is over 100 years old, and we have been in our current location for the last 66 years. A big thank you from our CHS family for your support. The tradition continues. Go Tornadoes. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. All of you did such a fantastic job. I know that Principal Krause was very, very proud, and thank you all for presenting on Clearwater High School. Thank you so much. Oh, Mrs. Cook.
In October, I was telling you about the meeting with the Council of Great City Schools and the conference that they were having. And not only are we seeing some of the students that we met with last week and, and welcoming them back, but one of the young ladies that spoke today was the one that I told you stole the show when she was talking about it. Ayanna George, our first speaker, was the one that was talking about the ambassadors that they have from Clearwater High, the civil rights ambassadors, and she did a phenomenal job, just like she did this morning. All of you did a great job. Thank you so much for sharing about Clearwater High. But I wanted to recognize her so that y'all knew who the person was I was talking about.
Thank you so much. Oh, sure.
I usually don't, but about 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to tour the renovation site of Clearwater High School, and like any other renovation is always disruptive. But I want to say thank you to the student leaders that are not only here, but please bring this message back. It is amazing of how well the student leaders and the student body is working around that renovation. You are leading the way. That is your school. And thank you for your patience, your understanding, but truly, I was so in awe of the student behavior and just how you're accommodating that construction in anticipation of a brand new high school in a very short period of time. But just say thank you. Thank you from this board to you, because it is a difficult time. It is. Whenever you're renovating things in your own home or your own school, it's tough. But thanks for everything you're doing every day to make that an easier process. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you. All right, moving forward, are there any possible changes to the agenda? Dr. Grego.
Yes, Madam Chair, there's 2 amendments to the agenda. Board members, as you know, we've had some discussion in our last workshop concerning the single member or the single member districts. And so 8.1 has been added to the agenda, reflecting the desire of the board to follow the county commission, and also 8.2, which Mr. Kapersky will go over also, which is the change of your policy that reflects that recommendation of 8.1. So 8.1 and 8.2 have been added as directed by the board based on the last workshop. That ends the amendments to the agenda.
Thank you. Any additional changes by the board? Seeing none, regarding the amendments, I find good cause to amend the agenda, adding non-consent agenda item number 8.1 and non-consent agenda item number 8.2 as described by Dr. Grego. Do I have a motion for the amended agenda? Motion by Dr. Carr. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Cook. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 6-0, the adoption of the agenda. Moving forward to 4.1, our recognition of Mr. Thomas B. Dobies for his generous donation of a police dog to the campus police. Do we have staff? Ms. Lori Matway.
Thank you, Vice Chair Kane, board members, Dr. Grego, and staff. It is my honor to recognize Thomas B. Dobies for his generous donation. First, I want to give you a little history about Thomas Dobies because he grew up in Tarpon Springs. And so when he walked into this building, he was like a rock star. Everybody knew him, shaking his hand. And as we heard many call him the mayor of Tarpon Springs. So we thank him for taking time away from his busy schedule to be here to be recognized. I know from reading your history, Mr. Dobies, that you don't really look for recognition and kind of shy away from it. But I felt like this was important, and I appreciate Mrs. Edmond bringing this to my attention so we could recognize him for his generous donation. He opened his first funeral home in 1979 in Holiday, and then expanded to Pasco, Hernando, and Pinellas County. He is involved in many community activities, but one that is very close to his heart is the police dogs. And I think this comes from his love of his former dog, Lucy, which I enjoyed reading that story. For any of us lovers of pets and have lost a pet, it was deeply moving, and I appreciate your love and passion for the animals that you serve. Mr. Dobies' contribution, because many police officers would not be able to have a police dog because of the high expense, not only of buying these particular animals, but of course the training for them. And so we are excited to welcome a Dobies to our police dog staff, and I'm going to ask Officer Barbara Bogger to come up and give us a little bit of a description of her work with our new police dog. Barbara?
Thank you. Good morning. I am the proud handler of Canine Dobies, and we named Dobies in honor of Mr. Dobies. Canine Dobies is a 2-year-old Fox Labrador Retriever. He'll be coming in here in a few minutes, but many of you who have already met my dog knows his high drive. And when he comes in here, he thinks he's supposed to be working, and we're not actually having him work in here. But he came from Southern Coast Canine, and that's an organization that provides police dogs to police departments. And Mr. Dobies worked directly with Southern Coast. Pinellas County Schools has 2 detector dogs. I have Dobies, who is a drug detection dog, and Officer Harrison has Rue, who is a gun detection police dog, who was purchased through a grant. Mr. Dobies, when he heard about my story, my dog Kudzu having cancer, and he really felt for me because we've gone through the same thing. And he said, Barbara, I'm going to purchase a police dog for you. He said, I do this for other agencies. This is what I do. I serve, oh, he hears me talking. Sorry, Dobies. So, and Dobies knows, yes, this is what Mr. Dobies wants to do. This is his love. So he took it upon himself to just reach out to me. And I did try to find donated dogs and also shelter dogs, because my 2 dogs before were that, but they come with a high standard. And Dobies is a true work dog, as you can hear him in the background. But Caprice Edmond and Lori Matway, thank you for your work in this special recognition today. Chief Luke Williams, thank you for supporting me each day and every day. School board, thank you for allowing me to do what I love to do. Because if you could see me in the schools and see the joy that any dog that I bring through gives to our students, most importantly, the safety, because they know that the dog is trained to do a job, but also we want to keep our schools safe. So Mr. Dobies, finally, thank you from Pinellas County Schools Police, Pinellas County School Board for allowing this to happen. And we really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And now I'll step out and get Dobies. Picture.
As we're bringing Dobies in, and I'll ask Thomas Dobies and Patrick O'Neill to move up so we can present you with the plaque. I'd also ask Chief Williams to come up for the photo. Very excited. The Pinellas County School Board presents to Thomas B. Dobies in recognition of your generous donation toward the purchase of a police dog, Dobies, for the Pinellas County Schools Police. We appreciate you and thank you for your dedication and support.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're going to get a photo.
Oh.
Come on now. Yes.
Not sniffing anything up there. He's looking this way.
Bill, I think.
Absolutely. Mr. Dobies like to say a few words.
And I'll be very, very brief. As they mentioned, Barbara mentioned, I went to school and born and raised in Tarpon Springs. And the effect that teachers had on me going through school was just the most, what word am I looking for here? Phenomenal. You know, they taught me, and I tell you what, I don't know how it is today in schools. Every now and then I'll go in and give a talk to the different schools, but I have to credit the teachers with where I am today. And I appreciate that very, very much. And I wanted to introduce you to Patrick. This is Patrick, okay? Patrick is my bodyguard. He may be short, but he is wiry. He would help me in any case. And then Joanne, when she was a little girl, I changed her diapers. Boy, did they stink. Joanne, stand up. I think she changes her own now. But if you school board could find it in your good graces to give the police department a raise, that would be great, right, Chief? Give the police department a raise. And but next time we need another dog, you could come to me and I will purchase that dog for you. Now I'll sit down and get out of here because they think I'm running for office, but I'm not. I'm running from Patrick. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Dobies. I know I speak for the whole board, and we cannot thank you enough. Thank you. To 4.2, our recognition, we have a new partnership with First Home Bank.
And thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Again, it is my pleasure to recognize a new partnership in Pinellas County Schools. As you know, we're constantly reaching out to our corporate friends to join us to partner with one or more of our schools, but this was a very unique partnership. First Home Bank is based in St. Petersburg with a mission to engage and support the community they serve, and they follow through. So in 2021, they started to select quarterly an organization that they wanted to either help financially and or with some sweat equity, which they did both for us, and I'm going to describe that for you. So their 4 areas, strategic focus areas are community and human services, education and financial literacy, arts and culture, and animal services. So they might be able to purchase another dog. So today, as you can see the picture scrolling, we went to Mount Vernon Elementary School, and they did a beautiful beautification project with 23 volunteers, and you'll see not only their CEO, their COO, all their top leadership was there working during a holiday to make sure that the campus was ready when students returned. And it was just so beautiful to see the work that took place. And of course, we had Dr. O'Valley, the principal there, and he was, if you look and see, he had a wheelbarrow and he was working hard, but was very thankful for the staff that came out to support them. The next group that they wanted to support was our HEAT team, helping educate all in transition. And they asked how we could use a financial donation to support families. And we will be using that in a variety of different manners through transportation assistance, providing bus passes and/or gas cards so families can come to parent meetings. We will also have Close to Kids, which of course you know we support annually, so they can provide uniforms for our students when necessary, as well as other miscellaneous things that our families may need. So at this time, I would like two representatives to join me. Joanne Gatsoulis, and you heard about her from Tarpon Springs. Joanne is a general manager for First Home Bank, as well as Dr. Christine Cantrell, so we can do the check presentation. And Joanne, I will hand this off to you, so you can present it to Dr. Cantrell right there in the middle. It has to be a photo op. So at this time, Joanne will present to Chris Cantrell a $5,000 check for our HEAT program. Thank you, board members.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. For our next portion of our meeting, we'll be opening up to the public for comment on board agenda items. Members of the public have 3 opportunities to address the board when we are gathered at our meetings. The first is to speak during public comments on agenda items. The next is when there is public hearing, most of which are policies. And lastly, after the meeting is adjourned, we will remain for public participation when speakers may address items pertaining to any business of the district. At each of these opportunities for public input, board members are here to listen to you. This is not a time for discussion or debate. We will not take any formal action on information brought forward unless it is pertaining to an agenda item. However, the board and superintendent may clarify statements to refer the speaker to the proper staff person to help work through your concern. The board is committed to a standard of civility and decorum in conduct of our meetings, and whether you agree or disagree with viewpoints expressed by the speakers, please refrain from showing audible support or disagreement. We also ask that you would assist us in maintaining a civil and constructive environment by confining your comments to the business of the district and refrain from profanity and intemperate or rude comments. Thank you so much. Mrs. Hawk, are there any speakers for comments on board agenda items?
Yes, Madam Vice Chair. Board members and Dr. Grego, we have 2 speakers for agenda items. You hear them now? The first is Mr. Brad Miller, speaking to item 7.25, and the second is County Commissioner Renee Flowers, also speaking to item 7.25.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to speak. Again, I'm Brad Miller. I'm the CEO of the Pinellas Suncoast Transit Authority, the transit system here in Pinellas, and I am very honored to be here with now my board member, County Commissioner Renee Flowers. We are here to thank you, the school board, Dr. Greco, Clint Herbeck, for working with us and finally getting a partnership that a lot of us have been working on a very long time to have Pinellas County School students and faculty, all employees, be able to use public transportation for free here in Pinellas. So let me just quickly explain what the program is that you'll be voting on shortly, and then I think Commissioner Flowers can talk to you about why we think it's such a great program. So the first part of the program, there's 2 parts of the program. The first part of the program starts on January 1st, just in a couple of weeks. Starting then, all students and faculty, anyone with a Pinellas County School identification of any kind, can ride any PSTA service for free. Just by getting on the bus and showing the bus driver the school ID, they can ride for free. This has been a very successful program we've already done for many years with St. Pete College, with USF St. Pete, with many businesses, especially along the beaches. And we know that students especially really take advantage of it, not just to get to and from classes necessarily, but also to go to jobs, after school programs. They can go anywhere they want, from Tarpon Springs down to St. Petersburg. On any of the trolleys or buses, they can ride for free. So that's a very exciting program that's starting right away. The second part of the program is going to start next school year. Between now and then, we are going to work with Clint and the school system to assign a handful of students in a pilot program at 3 high schools to ride a PSTA bus to school rather than a yellow school bus. So these are Gibbs High School in St. Petersburg, Largo High School, and Dunedin High. Right now, there are PSTA bus routes that go right by those schools every day already. So rather than being assigned to a yellow bus, certain kids that live close enough to the bus route will ride the PSTA bus to and from, be assigned to ride that bus to and from school. As I was presenting to the St. Petersburg Chamber of Commerce earlier today, there was someone on the bus who went to Largo and they said, "This sounds awesome because I kept missing the yellow bus and there's another PSTA bus that will come next." So that's one of the advantages to this program. So that'll start next year as a pilot at those 3 high schools. Hopefully it'll be a success. It also is a way that we can save, hopefully the school district can save money ultimately by not providing as many yellow buses. And so that's the second part of the program. Very excited about that. So thank you very much for signing on to this partnership with the PSTA.
Good morning, Vice Chair Lisa Kane, school board members, Dr. Grego, and staff. It is a pleasure to be back in this facility. Sad to be on this end, not up there with you guys, so I do miss you. But I do have the pleasure of serving on PSTA with Mr. Brad Miller. And I can tell you that we are really trying to think outside of the box when it comes to partnerships throughout our community. Some of you who were here before remember our conversations about incorporating public transportation for our students so that we could help alleviate some of the backlog as it related to the transportation services for Pinellas County Schools, and also assure that students were traveling safely. And I believe that was all of our concerns. We are excited about the UPass program, not just for our students, but also staff who may want to assist us with being environmentally friendly, taking some cars off of the road and using public transportation. As Mr. Miller has already shared with you, this is a pilot program, and we will be hosting those 3 schools. We hope to be able to merge some data so that we'll be able to come back and provide you with some statistical information as it relates to ridership for both our students as well as our staff. So we're super excited about this program. Some of you probably already know we're moving towards electric buses. We have 60 buses in the pipeline. So we're super excited about doing our part when it comes to being environmentally friendly. But more importantly, we're excited to be able to partner and make sure that our students are arriving to school on time, that they're able to participate in the after-school programs so that they'll have transportation home and won't have to worry about that. And more importantly, it's a service that everyone in the community, I'm sure, will be able to utilize when it comes to our scholars as well as our wonderful staff here at Pinellas County Schools. So thank you all so very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm not taking up my full 3 minutes. Are there any questions? I'm staying out of trouble, Mr. Kapersky. Thank you again. Thank you so much. If you have any questions after, please feel free to reach out to myself or Mr. Brad Miller. We'll be more than happy to answer those for you at that time as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any more speakers, Mrs. Howe?
There are no more speakers for agenda items.
If there are no further speakers, we will move to 6.1, our public hearing to consider the amendment to Policy 2410, Special Services Policy 1140, Discipline of Administrators Policy 3140, Discipline of Instructional Staff Policy 4140, Discipline of Support Staff Policy 5630.01, Use of Seclusion and Restraint on Students with Disabilities in Policy 9800, Charter Schools. This is a second reading, and there are no changes from the first reading. Do I have a motion?
Move approval of item 6.1.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Edmond, and a motion by Mrs. Cook. Dr. Grego?
Yes, board members, all four of these, let me make maybe a general comment. All four of these policies these are all second readings. There's no changes from the first reading for the public's information. This board has examined each of these policy changes over the last several months and before the first reading too. And I'm going to call on Leanna Eisen, Director of Strategic Planning, to review the first 6.1.
Go staff and community. Today, we're presenting a series of policy amendments for a vote of approval and second reading. Item 6.1 bundles 6 policies in alignment with legislative updates that were enacted into law July 1st, 2021, and there are no changes to these policies since the first reading. We presented these amendments at the September workshop and at the October board meeting. Policy 2410, Special Services, is amended to align with House Bill 590, requiring the superintendent to annually report to the Department of Education the number of involuntary examinations initiated at schools, on school buses, or at school-sponsored events. Policy 1140, Policy 3140, and Policy 4140, Discipline of Administrators, Instructional Staff, and Support Staff, aligns with House Bill 131 that requires all reports of alleged misconduct involving the safety of a student to be investigated regardless of whether the employee involved resigned or was terminated prior to the conclusion of the investigation. Policy 5630.01, Use of Seclusion and Restraint on Students with Disabilities, removed language to align with House Bill 149 that prohibits the use of seclusion or mechanical restraint on students with disabilities. And Policy 9800, Charter Schools, aligns with House Bill 1028, which removes the February 1st deadline to submit a charter school application, allows the charter school to determine the opening date of the school, and states that if a charter school changes its curriculum focus, the change is automatically assumed accepted if the curriculum aligns with state standards. These are the amendments presented for board approval, and that concludes our presentation for 6.1.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the public on 6.1?
No, Madam Chair, they're not.
Any questions or comments from board members? Ms. Edmond?
I would just like to thank you and Mrs. Mowat for all the work that you've done on the policies for the past couple of months. I'm going to speak specifically to the use of seclusion and restraints on students with disabilities because I've had the opportunities to speak in depth with Mrs. Mowat, as well as visit Nina Harris and Richard L. Sanders. So, as of December 13th, 7 schools have received Yukuru training and 3 have training scheduled after the winter break. There have been 15 incidents of restraints, with 11 occurring at a center school, which is receiving additional support from district staff. And again, I would like to thank Ms. Mowat, the exceptional student education teachers and staff, for providing proactive ways to support positive behavior and the success of our students. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Carr?
Thank you. I'd just like to welcome you back.
Thank you.
And say how much we appreciate you and we are glad you are well.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you back.
Any other board members to speak to 6.1? Seeing none, we have a motion by Mrs. Cook and a second by Ms. Edmond. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. The motion passes 6-0. Moving to 6.2, our public hearing to consider the amendment to policy 2421, Vocational Technical Education Program. Do we have a motion? A motion by Dr. Carr, and do we have a second? Second. Second by Mrs. Hine. Dr. Grego?
Yes, board members, this particular policy increases the opportunity for high school students to take dual enrollment classes or technical colleges and so forth. So I know how supportive this board is to articulating students from high school to post-secondary. So, Leanna?
As with the previous policy, this was presented at workshop in September and board meeting in October. And policy 2421 is up for a vote of approval, second reading, no changes since the first reading. And we're amending the language throughout to modify it from vocational technical to career technical. And as Dr. Grego mentioned, it also defines the methods of grade calculation for high school students who are taking dual enrollment courses.
Fantastic. Are there any comments of the public for 6.2?
No, ma'am, there are no speakers.
No speakers to 6.2. Board members? Seeing no discussion, we have a motion by Dr. Carr and a second by Mrs. Hine. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None opposed. It passes 6-0. Moving on to 6.3, our public hearing to consider the amendment to Policy 2460, Exceptional Student Education. Do we have a motion? Motion by Mrs. Cook, second? Second. A second by Mrs. Edmond. Dr. Grego?
Yes, board members, this is what we annually submit to the Department of Education, the Exceptional Student Education procedures and policies approved by the department, and then has to be approved by the board. So it's kind of like a back and forth. But Leanna?
Policy 2460, Exceptional Student Education. Like Dr. Grego said, this is the state policies and procedures for educational student education, or exceptional student education, what we commonly call SPNP. We do typically work on this in the fall and bring it to board approval in the spring once it has been approved by the state. This timeline was pushed back due to COVID. So what you're approving and what you would vote to approve on today is for the 2020-2021 school year, and our team is working with the state for this year's SPNP. So some of the updates include restraint and seclusion, like we talked about in the previous agenda item, collaboration on public and private partnerships, exceptional student education procedural safeguards, general education intervention procedures, IEPs, eligibility for students with specific learning disabilities, participation in state and district assessments, discipline, the district's plan to increase participation of underrepresented students in the program for students who are gifted, district policies regarding the allowable use or prohibition of physical restraint and seclusion, and a new appendix on school closures due to national or local emergencies, in which we added documents to support and educate staff and families specifically for instructional continuity for students with disabilities.
Thank you. Are there any public comments to 6.3?
There are no speakers for this item.
Board members, any comments? Seeing none, we have a motion by Mrs. Cook and a second by Mrs. Edmond. All those in favor of 6.3 say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. It passes with 6-0. 6.4, our public hearing to consider the amendment to policy 5420.03, reporting student progress and class ranking in high school, and policy 5430, class rank. Do we have a motion? Motion. Motion by Mrs. Hine and a second? Second. A second by Mrs. Cook. Dr. Grego?
Yes, board members, and just to clarify, that delay in 6.3 was not our district's delay. That was, I just want to make that really clear. I know Leanna did too, but that was, we wait on those policy changes by the state, and then they come to our district. Our turnaround time was exceptional. The 6.4 is the notion of clarifying some of the calculations for class rank and things that Dr. Vasquez and the Teaching and Learning Division presented to this board during a workshop. Leanna?
Policy 5420.03, reporting student progress and class rank, and policy 5430, class rank. Second reading was discussed at workshop in September, first reading in October at the October meeting. There have been no changes since the last reading. 5420.03 is to clarify the intent that early exams are for hardships or significant life events, and that it also clarifies that if a student is unable to take an exam, that they may take the exam upon their return regardless of what semester they return in. And then 5430, class rank, makes the HOPE course, adds the HOPE course to the list of courses eligible to be deleted from the class rank calculation related to valedictorian and salutatorian designations. More and more of our students are taking that course prior to entering high school, and if students take it in high school or before high school, it does affect their GPA.
Thank you so much. Are there any public comments to 6.4?
No, ma'am, there are no speakers.
Having no public comments, board comments? Seeing none, we have a motion by Mrs. Hine and a second by Mrs. Cook. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. It passes with a 6-0 vote. Moving to our consent agenda. Thank you, Ms. Ison. We appreciate your presentation. Moving to our consent agenda, do we have a motion? Approval by Mr. Dudley and a second? Second. Second by Ms. Edmond. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Our consent agenda passes with a 6-0 vote. Moving forward to our non-consent 8.1 is request approval of the resolution setting school board member resident areas for single member districts. Do we have a motion?
Move approval of 7.26.
Oh, 7.26.
8.1.
We're on 8.1.
Yes.
It's Ms. That too. Okay. Ms. Cook, move approval for 8.1 on non-consent. Do I have a second? Second. A second by Ms. Edmonds. Dr. Grego?
Thank you, Dr. Grego. Madam Vice Chair and board members, you have two items here that were discussed at your workshop last Wednesday. Just to bring everybody back up to speed, and for the public that's only watching potentially today, the school board has discussed redistricting at several workshops in the past, and we were tracking closely the county commission, and thank Ms. Flowers that she's left for her and her colleagues' work on this, because they did the heavy lifting. They looked at the population changes, they looked at the data, and the school. Thank you, Ms. Flowers. I didn't wait long enough. Thank you, Ms. Flowers. So the county really took a look at the data from the 2000 decennial census at the federal level that usually leads to federal, state, and local governments to undertake redistricting, and the school board and the county are no different. And so at our workshop last Wednesday, the school board reached consensus to track, once again, as it did 10 years ago, to track the county commission's changes to the single-member district boundaries of the school board members. As you know, the school board and the county commission, they have 4 single-member district members and 3 at-large district members. And so, as I said, as we did 10 years ago, the school board has now in front of it recommendations to simply adopt the minor changes that were done by the county to the single-member districts. So 8.1 specifically is a resolution that is required by statute when the school board changes any of its board member residence areas. Very similar to the resolution you adopted 10 years ago. It simply references the county commission's action and cross-references that map. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take those. Thank you.
Any board comments? Ms. Cook?
I just want to thank, I would like to thank David, Mr. Kapersky, for all the work that he did, keeping track of it and making sure that we were all educated on what was happening as well and keeping us up to date on that. And I think it is a great thing for us to be doing to mirror those single-member districts with the county commission. For people that are voting, they know if they're voting in District 4 for county commission, they're voting in District 4 for a school board. And I think that just makes things a whole lot easier for them. But I appreciate the work that went into that and keeping us informed.
Absolutely. Any other board comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of 8.1, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. It passes with a 6-0 vote. To non-consent 8.2, setting a public hearing and authorizing the advertisement of the public hearing to consider the amendment to policy 0143.1, membership of the district board member residence areas. Do we have a motion? A motion by Dr. Carr and a second? A second by Mr. Dudley. Dr. Grego. Oh, to Mr. Kapersky.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair and board members. This is the second of the 2 items we discussed at your workshop last week. Your policy actually incorporates the specific boundaries of your single-member districts. And so changing those necessitates a change to policy. The resolution you just voted on a moment ago in 8.1, that is the legally operative document that needs to be done, an action that needs to be taken during an odd-numbered year. This is just sort of catching up our policy, a little housekeeping. So we are changing it to reflect the county commissioner's actions that was done on December 7th. And so we'll change that. But this is the first reading. You'll see this come back probably in late January or potentially February. Thank you.
Any board comments to 8.2? Seeing none, we have a motion by Dr. Carr and a second by Mr. Dudley. All those in favor of 8.2, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None. Passes 6-0. To new business, any items to be introduced by the superintendent, Dr. Prego?
Yes, Madam Vice Chair, thank you very much, and to board members, Happy New Year as we are in our last meeting of the 2021 school year, or I guess we don't say school year because we're divided by two calendar years, but certainly it's been a great year. As you know, when we return back from our winter break, a legislative session will be in full swing, and I want to just thank our local delegation for their collaboration and their work with us prior to this, and I look forward to a very healthy and hopefully productive session. As you know, we did share with you the governor's budget was released a week ago, and it's an optimistic budget. It adds over $50 million for increased teacher salaries. Once again, it also is called for. Don't know whether all of these things are going to happen. You know, the governor puts out a budget, and then the House and the Senate labor over it, and develop their own. But they also calls for a second round of $1,000 bonus checks for teachers and principals in the state of Florida, increases the base student allocation, the BSA, to by $124 and change, $125. Increases the safe school programs, which we severely need because we spend more than we receive, by $30 million statewide. Increases the mental health allocation by $20 million statewide, and also increases the allocation for grants for hardening of schools that we as a district have worked so extensively on. The also takes a look at other types of support dollars for turnaround schools and other schools that need to have left turnaround status, but we don't want to pull out all of the resources, and we have several schools that have left the turnaround status we're very proud of, but we also continue to need to provide those services. And one of the more exciting aspects of the budget is one that we as a district have pushed for, and that's significant increase in workforce development funding, and that is our workforce education funds and workforce programs in our technical schools, technical colleges, and in our high schools. And so I want to thank Mark Hunt and really the promotion of workforce education. So we look forward to a good session. There'll be several ups and downs like any other session, but as you know, the session starts early this year, and we'll keep you apprised of that. I do want to thank Megan and Ron Fay and Megan Fay and Ron LaFace for their efforts. I could tell you they've kept me completely up to date with events on a daily basis. Also want to praise and thank Mr. Smith and our finance and finance department, as last week the Fitch ratings affirmed our AA issued default ratings and an A+ rating on our school district, which during the times of coming out of the pandemic is not an easy task. And the uncertainty that school districts across the state and nation face, and so this is quite a celebration. The report cited that Finch expects the district will make spending adjustments, as all districts are having to make spending adjustments coming out of the pandemic, needed to maintain adequate gap closing capacity, given the district's track record of stable financial performance. They also say the district's very low long-term liability burden and low carrying cost for debt service and retire benefits and solid control over the workforce size. So I just want to say thank you to Kevin Smith, the entire finance team, and really all of our leaders and in our district that really contribute to ensuring that we continue to right size and continue to respond fiscally responsible to the conditions that we have. I too want to thank, and those who all pass down the ribbon cutting booklet, and thank you so much to the board members who were able to, and all of the hundreds and hundreds of people who turned out for St. Pete High ribbon cutting ceremony. Mr. Herbeck, thank you for your leadership, your entire department, Darlene Lebo, Principal Lebo. It's a task. I mean, it's like organizing a large wedding, and people are coming, and who's there, who needs to be recognized, and then carry on the day of school and everything else like that. But if you were able to stay for the tours, you had to really enjoy the students who gave those tours. They were so proud of their school. So thank you to all, and I couldn't help but think, board members, as I was sitting there and the sun was setting, the weather was absolutely beautiful, just how much we have going. And so thank you so much. Ms. Kane, thank you for your comments and representing this board, and to the hundreds of people that I met from all different classes. I think the earliest one was 1951, but all the way through. They were all proud of their class, and they all told the myth or the story about stepping on the Green Devil's head as the entrance. They all had their different version of that, but it was truly a great feeling, and thank you to all of the past principals that showed up and just past administrators that created a true family affair. In addition to the top 10 finalists that you saw, and that's a great video, I want to thank Beth and Sean and her team for really, they travel throughout this district to put together videos like that, and they do such a remarkable job. You know, a few years ago, we developed the Emerging Teacher of the Year program to bring recognition to exemplary teachers who are in their second or third year, but they're doing such a great job. And so the two that we have that we'll be recognizing this January also, in January 26th, as was mentioned earlier at the Mahaffey Theater, was Natalie L. Amarini, an English language arts teacher at Melrose Elementary, and Gabrielle Medina, a Tarpon Springs Middle School art teacher. They were both named as the Emerging Teachers of the Year. Congratulations to Principal Danica Jones and Aaron Phelps for their support of nominating these teachers. I don't know if the board heard about this, but the inaugural Civic Literacy Exam Slam was a huge success, and it happened after Thanksgiving. But high school social studies students and throughout our district hosted their first Civic Literacy Exam Slam. I think it was taken off of basketball slam theme, but they given high school students the opportunity to practice taking the Florida Civic Literacy exam in a competitive and engaging way. Students who pass the exam with 60% or better, they do not have to take the college assessment version when they work towards an AA degree. So we're doing something that's going to benefit students a year to 2 years past their graduation here in our district. 1,500 high school students across 14 high schools competed head-to-head during the U.S. government classes, and teachers heard firsthand from students how engaged this exercise was. Congratulations to the three schools with the highest point total, the highest total points. First place, Tarpon Springs with 7813 points, and second place, Eastlake with 7238, and third place, Gibbs High School with a score of 6998. And the three schools with the highest percentages of students participating: Jacobson Technical High School with 88% of the students participating, Palm Harbor University with 81% of the students participating, and Boca Ciega High School with 66% of the students participating. This is a great example of one of those innovative things that we've never done before, and it's taken over, and at this point, I think we're expanding it to other subject areas and beyond the social studies area. Also want to dovetail those comments into the winter challenge. You know, as a district, we take very seriously the downtime of our staff, and we ask for relaxation and truly to recover, but however, our students can continue to learn. And so we had winter challenges over the Thanksgiving break. In elementary schools, over 41,000 Dreambox lessons were completed during the Thanksgiving week, with students practicing their mathematics skills independently. The Mayan Reading Challenge ran the entire month of November with over 1.9 million minutes of reading by Pinellas County Schools elementary students. And that means that students read over 90,000 digital books. And in middle school, over 4,600 students participated in the formal challenges, with the overwhelming number doing so in mathematics. Over 3,700 students competed in the Math IXL challenge. And in high school, students participated in challenges and reviews aligned to specific courses, with over 5,300 entries in different challenges. Biology led the way, with over 2,200 students participating. My point in saying this is that our students are not only remaining engaged, but doing so in a very fun, competitive manner. And these types of challenges will take place and will continue to take place over the next 2 weeks during our winter break. I also want to recognize a fourth grader at Orange Grove Elementary School. Her name is Stella Jerkovic. She's an fourth grader who wrote an essay about somebody in our community that I'm sure you all know, and that's Judge Miriam Irizarry from Pinellas County's first female Hispanic judge. Estella's accomplishment earned her a 4-year Florida College Plan Scholarship, a prepaid scholarship, provided by the Florida Prepaid College Foundation. Both Governor Ron DeSantis and First Lady Casey DeSantis honored this year's Hispanic Heritage Month student with her essay and educator contest winners in the ceremony at the governor's mansion recently. Judge Azari was the first Hispanic female to serve as a judge of Pinellas County. With more than 25 years, she worked for the Pinellas clerk of the circuit court. She is a former president of the Clearwater Bar Association and the Hispanic Outreach Center. And because of her pro bono legal counsel to the Spanish-speaking community, the Florida Supreme Court honored her with the Florida Bar President's Pro Bono Service Award for the 6th Judicial Circuit. I think we all are very thankful for Judge Azario, and as she also has spearheaded and also been our guest speaker at the Maria Edmonds Hispanic Awards ceremony. So congratulations, Stella, for such an award. My last comment is to say to each and every one of you as board members and also to our entire educational community, thank you for everything you do every single day of this year. I wish you only the best, joyous happiness and peaceful 2 weeks of winter break. Look forward to the 2021 school year, energized and ready to come back to work for our second semester. Board members, thank you. It's a pleasure to serve with you. I appreciate it. That ends my comments.
Thank you, Dr. Grego. Are there any items to be introduced by the attorney?
No items. Thank you very much.
Items, thank goodness. And any board members? Dr. Carr.
Thank you. I know our school board attorney is oftentimes the quietest one in the room with very few board reports, but we had the opportunity to witness his recognition at our recent Florida School Board and Florida School Board attorneys and Florida, it's a joint meeting, superintendent meetings, and Mr. Capersi was recognized as such an outstanding contributor to the legal field in the area of educational law. So he is so well regarded amongst his colleagues, and the kudos that were spoken towards you, helping folks navigate this difficult time with so many different legislative actions taking place in the state, and having been a go-to person for so many individuals throughout the state. I wanted to express how grateful we are, both personally and professionally, to know you, and that you are the individual that I value and trust most in this district. And I appreciate you very much and simply also your role and your level of professionalism. So thank you very much, and we are grateful to have you as a school board attorney. And I'd also like to acknowledge Dr. Greco for the tremendous, I'm the person, and you all know me, that always gets places early. It's just something ingrained in my family history or whatever, how you were raised, right? To always arrive early. And I was also blessed with the gift of gab, so I tend to be the last one out the door. And you, so many of these events recently are there before me and the last one in the lot. So I don't want your commitment and model of leadership to go unrecognized. It's the end of our year, and just to make note, not our school year, like you said, of the tremendous amount of hard work and dedication that you put into this district that often goes unrecognized, but provides us with a model for leadership. So I appreciate that, and you're everywhere all the time, nights, weekends, early mornings. So to recognize you for that. I also am so grateful to you, Mr. Herbick, for getting this partner pilot program done. I know we were talking about it a little with PSTA, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier. And in the midst of dealing with the implementation of the requirements for the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and then amongst all the implementation of things happening with and around COVID, I was a total nudge, and as you gracefully admitted, had to pull over just to talk at 5:30 in the afternoon with me about this partnership, and having met with Mr. Miller and then Ms. Long prior to Janet Long, the county commissioner, prior to Ms. Flowers leading this organization and shepherding it forward. But I'm really grateful that we are piloting this. When I came on board 3 years ago, it was really important to me for us to utilize public transportation. And I'm excited to see us move in that direction, because not only is it good for everyone involved, I think one of the key components that takes place is that if our kids start riding the bus early, it not only provides them with that level of independence and providing them, supporting our mission for college, career, and life and how to navigate public transportation, but it can then increase ridership. Sometimes you never ride the bus because you never rode the bus. So I'm glad that that's moving forward. So thank you for putting up with my nudge, the kind word for it. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. I know we're not having our traditional gathering here in the decoration way, where we have everything decorated, and understandably so, but we're still moving in the right direction, right? We've got some of the pieces up and the recognition of everyone. And I'd be remiss in my previous mental health background to acknowledge that holidays are not easy for everyone, and that it's important that we check in on one another during this season and ensure that we are well and that we are taking care of one another, and that when our children return to our schools, sometimes it has been a wonderful experience at home, but there are also times where you're so looking forward to return to structure at school. So I'm grateful for those teachers who will hopefully get rested and recharged, being there to receive them when they return and provide that structure. And lastly, on a really fun note that I learned this morning, that a baby bunny was born at Jacobson, which is kind of an exciting thing and not always supposed to happen. So I thought that was a fun way to end the year, to think about this new baby bunny who has, happened to miraculously appear in the in the cage when they came to school. So seems sort of timely and a nice note to end on. So
How did you do
thank
biology?
Oh, Mr. Dudley. Thank you, Dr. Hart.
You just said that you had a gift of gab. Gee, I never noticed. Anyway, all kidding aside, I just wanted to kind of take a different tack, and
You know, it's been a rough year and rough couple of years, and I would like to say that as we end this year on a very positive note with all the good things that are happening, and we're getting back to some normalcy and all, my New Year's resolution, and that I hope of others also, would be a rededication of our purpose of what we, as school board members and school personnel, and you know what we're here for, and that is for our children, that our future generation, are the ones that are going to be taking care of us and future generations. And I think that as a community, I think we need to find our way back to civility. You know, probably our greatest president we ever had was George Washington. And he wrote a book on the 100 lessons of civility. And I had purchased that one time, a long time ago, and every once in a while I reference to just the way things are going in today's society. It's just, you know, we've had people that have spilled blood on the battlefield so we can live in a certain environment and a certain way of life. And yet, here recently, we have sort of forgotten that if you disagree with me, I'm not going to speak to you, I'm not going to have anything to do with you. And yet, that separates America from every other country in the world. We encourage you to have a different view. That's how we become better. So I would like to see that, you know, as we approach the new year, we get back into a spirit of cooperation. And, you know, one person has the answer. It takes many ideas to forge a direction. And we need to be unified in our purpose and education and just getting along with one another. You know, our children see us and they see the way we act. And the way we act kind of gives them some idea, well, that's the way it's supposed to be, I guess. And so what happens is our generation is sending a bad message, or it can be a good message. And I would like to think that as the new year approaches, that we get rid of that petty stuff, respect people for the way they think, and you don't have to agree with them. That's fine. But you don't have to disown them. They're human beings. And in this country, there's a reason why people from all over the world come here. There's a reason for that. We don't get many people going the other direction. Most are coming this way. And I think that one of the things I'm really going to try, I'm probably guilty as anybody else. I'm going to really try to refocus, and when you have a difference of opinion, I may shake my head and don't understand it, but I'm going to respect the fact that you have that opinion. And that's my wish for the new year. And lastly, I'd like to just close by saying thank you to everyone involved in what we're doing here. We really do make an effort to educate our young and you know, kind of mold them, and that's why it's so important for us to do the right thing also. So with that, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, all that stuff. I mean it sincerely, and I hope the fat man is good to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dudley. Is there any other board members who would like to say anything? No, I'm going to say a few words then. Thank you, Mr. Dudley. You said so much of what I was thinking of.
I read your mind.
You did. You read my mind over there. And I'm going to reiterate some of it because I think it's so important. I was talking to a good friend of mine, reflecting upon 2021 as the calendar year comes to a close. We're still in the midst of the school year, but the calendar year comes to a close and you start to reflect on how has this year been and what could we do better, what was done well, and you start to make all of these reflections. And I think, to mirror your sentiments, one of the division of this year has been very overwhelming to so many of us, overwhelming in the community, overwhelming in our personal lives. There's been a lot of division sown in our hearts and our minds. And I was reflecting upon this as we move to 2022. What's the word for it? We need to heal. We all need healing, and we need healing in our relationships. We need healing in our community. We need healing from the pandemic, healing in our schools. And so much of our division is sown by perspective. I really believe that division is a matter of perspective, and we can be those that look at the glass half empty and what's wrong with it, or we can look at the glass half full and remember and be grateful for all that we have in each and every moment. And I feel that as we move into 2022, we really need to focus on our gratitude for each other, our gratitude for what we have as an incredible district, and gratitude for our differences. Because as difficult as it is to sometimes not agree with others, it's important to realize our strength is in our differences. As we come together, our strength is in the differences, because what I may not have, someone else does, and someone else can contribute. And I think we will gather community strength by viewing our differences in a positive way and being grateful that we're not all the same, and that we come together to make this incredible district of Pinellas County. And that at the end of the day, our goals are the same. We want 100% student success. We want our students to be happy, to be healthy, to be successful, and to feel that they're in a safe and loving environment in their schools. From our teachers, from our staff, from our administrators, and also from all of us here sitting here today. And I do believe that in our hearts, we all have that same goal. And I thank each and every one of you for this past year. While it's been difficult, we've stood strong and we've made it to this point as we move to 2022. And I hope that this new year will bring so much happiness and blessing to each and every one of you and all of the staff and teachers. And we thank everyone for their service as we close this year. I would like to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope you spend holiday season, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. I hope that you get some time to spend with your family and to relax at the end of this year and reflect and reboot for the coming year. We wish you all a very prosperous new year. May it be happy and may it be healthy, and Happy New Year. Thank you all so much. With that, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. Are there any board requests, Dr. Corbett?